Welcome back. This is Dr. David Cruz with Whitecoat Medicine Talks, and today is part 7 of our dementia talks. This one is very important, and I hope that the whole family listens into this because it will talk about dementia from the onset to making decisions towards the end of life as well. So the first thing, once the patient is diagnosed with dementia, what are the first things to do? Well, I think the family member or the person that is there with the family member should definitely get together and get the whole family together and let everybody in the family know what is going on. And I'm talking about everybody in the family, even the estranged family members, because many times those estranged family members come into play at the end of life and want to make certain decisions that maybe have already been made, they just weren't aware of. So it's very important to include all the family, let them know what you have. If it's Alzheimer's dementia, let them know it's progressive, learn about the disease, know what to expect, and then take it from there. It's going to be very important to discuss with the family some of the changes that will occur as far as your planning and how your life is going to change. So first of all, discuss the things that need to be done. We talked about you sleeping 8 hours a day. Make sure that you're resting well. For those people that can fast 12 hours a day, then you can do that. For those people that can't, such as diabetics or other people that have nutritional deficiencies, then maybe they can't fast, but just eat very nutritiously. Now, go on ahead and go back to some of the videos that we talked about earlier in the nutrition and the supplements and vitamins, and incorporate some of those into your diet as well. Remember that all of this has to be done in coordination with your own doctor so that you all are on the same page as far as treatment plan. In continuing to do things that are going to improve your life and making good changes, incorporate exercise. Now I'm talking about exercise for your body, of course, but also for your mind. For your mind, we want to do things like possibly changing some of the skills that you already know how to do. So if you eat with your right hand, then eat with your left hand. If you do anything in one way, try to change it around and do it a different way so that you can learn new skills. Maybe even try writing with your opposite hand and work on those skills so that you can work on different things, and hopefully you can make new connections in the brain as well as you're taking your supplements and doing different skills to help your brain. You also want to listen to maybe audiobooks or read books. Read anything that is very interesting to you so that you can continue to stimulate the brain as much as possible. Stay active, and not only among your family but among your friends as well. You might want to let them know as well that you do have dementia and that your mental facilities may be getting worse, but you do want to stay active with friends and families, stay positive, and enjoy life as much as possible. Now, moving on to things that you need to discuss with your family as well, but preparing for the future. Let's talk about certain legal aspects. First of all, I think that it's very important that you have a will. That way you can determine when you do pass away that everything is in order, that people don't have to struggle to realize what is going where and who's going to have what. I know for certain people it might be very difficult to think about death, but it's a time where as people get older you do have to consider things that will take place. The family members may jump in and say, no, we don't want to talk about death as well, but it's very important that you set everything straight right now, that your dementia is just beginning, and that way you can make sure that the things that you write down on paper are legally binding and that it's done according to the way you want things done. So with that, you need a power of attorney, and more than that, a medical power of attorney. You want somebody that will be able to make decisions for you when you can't make your own decisions anymore, because there is going to be many decisions that have to be made, and those will have to be tough choices, but they don't have to be tough choices if you already discussed all these choices with that person and they know exactly what you want to be done. Now, when you talk about end-of-life issues, Do you want to be on a ventilator? Do you want CPR? Do you want to have PEG feeds or other feeds other than just oral feeds? Do you want to go into assisted living? What type of things do you want for the end of your life, and what things do you not want done? If you discuss these things early on, then those decisions are very easy later on. They're still going to be difficult to make. Don't get me wrong. They're very difficult decisions, but once the family knows that those are your wishes, it makes life a lot easier, not only for you, but for everybody else around you. Also discuss, if you're still working, then you want to discuss with your employer what is going on, and maybe some of the skills and tasks that you have to do can be made easier, and until the point that you may have to stop working. In addition, make sure that your life insurance papers and retirement funds are all in order. Make sure your beneficiaries are there, written down, and keep all your paperwork together in one place so that it can be very easy to access in the future. It is very likely that you'll be able to drive initially and get around, but at a certain point there's a chance that you might get lost, forget where you're going, and so make those decisions early on. Are you going to be using taxis to get around, rides, use Uber? Are you going to have GPS always on your phone so that they can make sure that people can find you? Those decisions have to be made early on, and that way there is no problem with making those decisions later on. We want to make sure that the stress is at a minimum, and so we want to make these choices that we've been talking about early on so that nobody has to worry about them. Now there's other things that we have to make sure that are done. Make sure phone numbers are kept in memory or written down so that they're easy access. Make sure that if you as a family decide that video monitoring would be very appropriate inside and outside of the house, that makes it easier. Maybe even cameras in the car. In the household, you might want to use appliances that shut off by themselves, because if they forget to turn something off, it may cause a fire. And make sure for the bathroom that there's easy access, that there's shower chairs if necessary, that you have non-slip surfaces. Make things as easy as possible for the patient as things progress. Now, it may be important to have labels around the house. It may be also very important to have a calendar, just one calendar with all the things that are going to happen as well. One more thing I want to talk about right now is hospice care. And when is it appropriate to use hospice care? So hospice is when it is determined that a patient only has 6 months left to live. Now, they don't always have 6 months left to live. They might live for a longer period of time. But if that is the determination at that time, then that is about the right time to use hospice care. The hospice will have certain services that may help assist the family and the patient to live a better life at the end of life. And if you determine that that is the right thing to do, then that would be ideal. Now, hospice care means that you accept that the patient is probably going to pass away soon, and that if they get sick, you do not admit to the hospital. That is very important because a lot of people get very fearful when somebody gets very ill and they want to take them to the hospital right away. But you have to understand that hospice care is there to take care of a person in the end of his life or her life. And so you take that on at home, and you take care of it with the nurses and the doctor that go visit the patient at home. So let's talk about the actual caregivers now. A lot of times the caregivers themselves are very stressed, get depressed, and they don't want to, or they don't take care of themselves. So the first thing for the caregiver is don't overdo it and take care of yourself. You have to take care of yourself. If you don't take care of yourself, then you can't really take very good care of the other person. And so stay healthy, exercise, eat healthy, like the patient is doing as well. And whenever you need help, ask for help. Don't stay behind and get nervous or anxious and overburden yourself. Make sure that you're aware of what the patient can do and what they can't do, and kind of encourage the patient to do things that they can do and be happy with those things. So look at the positive side of things as much as possible. Even though it is a very tough and difficult time, there is still things that you can laugh about and have fun with the patient and enjoy life as much as possible, because you don't want to stress yourself out. Being the caregiver, sometimes you get angry and it can get frustrated, but try not to get angry with the patient. You know they'll be forgetting things, and that's normal. And try not to get angry with family members either, because that is not helpful to the situation. It is very important that you do stay and be very realistic about the whole situation. We know that Alzheimer's dementia in particular is very progressive, and it ends up in death. And it progresses to the point that it starts concerning not only the family members but friends, and they start giving opinions about different things. But know that you have a plan, and that's very important. So be realistic about what's going to happen. I encourage everybody never to give up on your brain, and always try your best to make it easier and better for the patient and the family. Get informed and stay aware of changes that are going on also. This is Dr. David Cruz. We will hopefully bring you more videos on dementia, but I thought that this video was very important to get out at this time. And have a beautiful day, and we'll see you soon.